too. I'll record this, and it will actually be under your assignments, under a thing that says lecture on applying for your license. So you'll have it all. So hopefully you can see this website. People always say, well, what's the website? And I have to write that down. No, you don't. If you type in Arizona Board of Massage Therapy into your search bar, this will pop up right away. And you go to this website. I'm assuming we can all see this right now, I hope. Yeah. On the website, you would click on Initial Application. That makes sense. I'm going slow, by the way, because some people are taking notes, which is great. They're just going to write step by step is what I'm assuming they're doing. So I click on Initial Application. It will take me to here. Down here is things like qualifications you need, application material, payment, all this kind of stuff. Believe it or not, you really want to go to payment first. If you don't, it's going to direct you there later anyway, but you need usually to prove your payment with the application. So you go to payment first. And this is for an online payment, and you need a credit card or a debit card to do this. So I just clicked on payment. I go to online payment. Boom. It's going to take me to an external site. Let's see if you guys can still see this when I go to this external site. You can. Good. Okay. And then down here, let me see if I can reduce this a little bit for you. Hold on. There we go. Down here, you would type in your first name, your last name, your phone number, and your email. By the way, the most important thing on these applications really is your email. Because if they have a problem with something missing from your application, they're going to email you. Almost always they email you. They could call you, but it's rare. They usually email you. And they say, we have not received such and such. And so you want your email to match up. So anyway, just make sure that all this information is in here correctly. And then you are going to pick application fee and background check fee. You want both those combined. Down here it's just some separate. But you want both those. You need to pay for a background check. No matter what happens with the law, no matter what, you're going to have to pay for this. So you're going to pay $217, except what's going to happen is they're going to tack on another convenience fee. I don't know what's convenient about it, but a convenience fee of $2.50. So you'll end up paying $219.50 for this. Make sure you get this money. I've had many students come to me and go, I can't afford to apply for the license. And I'm like, if you got the license, you'd be able to afford it. Like, find somebody. Get $219.50. Figure it out, because you want to get on here. Yes, Miss Stewart.
When are we going to apply once we get our diploma or whatever certificate?
Yeah, we're going to apply that day, even before you get your official certificate, so that they're in. Because you can legitimately be like, I graduated today, and we're going to put it in that day.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's the truth, and we can do that even if the school doesn't have a certificate ready or anything. Because you don't have to upload a certificate. The school has to send a transcript for you.
Okay,
that's part of the problem
plan to have that ready by the 10th. Then?
Yes, it would be fantastic if you had that money ready on the 10th, because you could submit this application on the 10th. You could do it right there at school. We'll drop you on a computer. You could do it, as far as I'm concerned, you could do it before the graduation that day. Like, if you're going to graduate that day, you could come in at 8 a.m. and start filling out your application, and then walk down the thing. Yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool. Right. So anyway, guys, you put all this in and you say pay now. I can't take you to the next screen because I'm not ready to pay. But the next screen is going to ask for your credit card information, and it's going to give you a confirmation number. You want to keep the confirmation number because you can enter it into the application. You want to keep the confirmation number. I mean, I would keep a printout of that page that says you paid. But you're going to put it into the application to prove you paid. So you put your stuff in here, you say pay now. It's going to take you to a credit card. Let's see, I don't think it'll even go for me. Yeah, it's like you got to enter all this stuff. It's going to take you there. You're going to put in your credit card information or your debit card information. It'll say thanks, you're done, you're paid. Your confirmation number is 799322716. You're going to write that down and you're done with that. You paid. So let's get out of here and we'll go back to here to where we actually need to apply. And so if we go to forms here, there is an initial application. That's what you guys are all doing. Look, this has the payment thing here too. This was the same place we just went. You could have gone here and gone to online payment. But now you're going to go to online forms. Go to online forms, and it will take you here. And this is the form you're going to fill out online and it will submit online. So, let me downsize this so you can see it. Hold on. There we go. All right. So, you're going to apply for a massage therapy license. Unless you've had a license somewhere else, if you had a license somewhere else, you might want to talk to me about applying for universal acceptance. But the vast majority of you are going to, I wish to apply for a regular Arizona massage therapy license. And you're going to click that. You are applying for a regular massage therapy license. You put in your legal first name, middle name, last name. So I'm not going to do that, but it's pretty self-explanatory, right? Just to give you an idea. Tap Scott. Oh, shoot. Tap. This is what I shouldn't do. Okay. And then I put in my middle name, my last name, all that stuff. Yes, Ms. Cuppage.
Okay, so my married name is Brunia, but everything has been Cuppage because it's legal, so but I want to go by Brunia when I massage. Is that possible to put Brunia instead of Cuppage, or no?
No. If I'm understanding you right, no, it's not. It's a really good question, but your massage license has to match your legal name.
Okay.
Yeah. So if Cuppage is your legal name.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, you could change your legal name to Bruniage.
Brunia.
Brunia, sorry. To Brunia, you could. But that has nothing to do with this form. That's you literally going through the name change process, and you know how arduous that is, probably, if you've done it before. My wife just did it, and it takes a while.
Terrible, and it's long, and yeah.
Well, you could get the name change done by then if you have your marriage license. You could get your Social Security card changed, which is what you really need. But then, of course, you're going to need to get your driver's license and your passport and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Anyway, no. So your short answer is no. You've got to apply as yourself. Yeah. So you would be Ms. Cuppage in this example. You would click female. If you guys are a veteran or a military spouse of a veteran, you can click this. I think you get a discount on your license. But anyway, that's why you might put that in here. They want all your aliases down here. Now, aliases would be anything other legal names you had, not nicknames. So like Mr. Penrod would not put in Weasel, right? But if he had a different last name for some reason, he would put that in here. They want to know this for your background check stuff. They want your Social Security, date of birth, place of birth. For some of you, that it's city, state, and province, by the way. For some of you, that'll be Phoenix, Arizona. You actually can put Phoenix, Arizona, USA, or Phoenix, Arizona, Maricopa. You'll be fine with any of that. If you were born out of this country, that's fine too. You can put your city and state or whatever is equivalent to that in the country there too. That's fine. Do not worry about this this level 1 fingerprint clearance card yet. But if we had to attach it, by the way, I think what's going to happen is you're not going to have to attach it. because I don't think it's going to be cleared then, and they're just going to give you your license. But if you have to attach this, what you have to have is a picture in your computer of these items. And to do that, you can literally take a picture of something on your phone, save it to your computer, and right here you would click on this. And when you click on it, it will, I want to see if it'll do it. Let's see. It's not set up yet, but it'll act, oh, maybe it's going to do it. Let's see. There it goes. So you guys can't see this, but when I clicked on that, it actually went to my file folder and said, what file do you want to attach here? And so you'll be able to actually click on that and put a picture up if you need to. Mr. Bigelow.
What about regular fingerprint cards that we have to get right now?
Those are going to have to be mailed in unless this form is changed.
Okay, so we're going to physically get the card and mail it into the state board thing?
Yes, it's annoying. It's not a seamless process. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there like a reference number that we put, or they just get it and
They just get it and
match it up?
they seem to match it up if everything goes right, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You can also, by the way, you can mail them, or if you want to go a little quicker, hand delivering them down there is not the worst idea in the world. But I mailed mine. I mean, most of my students mailed them in. Mr. McClure?
Sorry,
It's okay.
can we go ahead and get the fingerprint card? Is that just a common thing?
Yeah, it's super common. The school will pay for it if you wait till the 9th, January 9th. The school will pay for it. We're going to give you vouchers after your field trip to the cadaver lab, and you will have class time to go get it. You just walk into an office, give them the voucher, and they just scan your fingerprints and give you a card back. But if you want to go get it on your own now, you can. Yeah. We didn't want you to do it before because it can't be more than 2 months old. But you could do it now if you wanted to. We're that close. Down here they want an address. So they want your residential address. And you have to fill that out. Some people have a mailing address too that's different than their residential address, and they'll put that here too. Let's say you have a P.O. box, but you still have to have your residential address. But if you have a P.O. box where all your mail goes to, you can do that. If you don't do that, I strongly recommend in these areas you don't fill out that you type NA. Because on documents like this, they love to see that you've looked at this area and said it's not applicable to me. I'm not doing it. Right? So you'd have your actual address here. You know, I live at 2901 East, blah, 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 blah. And your phone number and your email address and all that stuff. Again, email address needs to be accurate. And for many of you, you can put non-applicable for your mailing address and for your employer. So some people use their employer, believe it or not, as their mailing address for their license. I don't know if I recommend that. I don't know that I can actually recommend or not recommend, but I don't see I don't have very many people do that. Miss Magruder, yes.
Yes. And you move from the address that you typed in, in putting a new address in. Do we go through? What do we go through?
You go through the same website we're on right now, and it's a very quick address change form.
Okay.
And I don't think there's a fee or anything for it. The reason I say don't think is I haven't moved in forever, but I don't think there's any fee, and people have told me they just go online really quick and they just say, I'm at a new address, and they let them know. And it's a good idea to let them know, because if they ever run into something and they need to get a hold of you, it's really helpful if they know where you're at, and you're supposed to let them know. You're supposed to. So please do. But it's a quick form. So I know some of you are like living in an apartment, you're like, I'm going to be in another place in 6 months. That's fine. Just go online and fill out the change of address thing. So this part is interesting. Address of record. There are two things. The website will show an address. There's not a way to opt out of this as far as I know. And so some people, for this reason, don't want to put their residential address here. You could put your mailing address or a business address here, but then you've got to enter a mailing or a business address up here. They've got to have something to put on the website. Many people, including myself, have our home address on here. But I can understand you're not wanting to put your home address on here. The other thing is your contact address. For most of you, that's how the board gets a hold of you. For most of you, your contact address will be your residential address. You'll be like, yeah, use my home address, send stuff to my home. This is how mine is set up. But you might say, I don't want people to look up my residential address on the web. Well, then you have to come up with a mailing address or give them a business address. And that's fine too. This is a citizenship statement. You know, are you a citizen of the United States? By the way, you don't have to be a citizen of the United States to work in the United States as long as you have, you know, a green card or something that allows you to work here. But for many of you, you're going to be like, I was born somewhere in the United States. I am a citizen. Boom. And then they're going to say, we want you to attach something that proves your citizenship here. And they're like, we want you to either attach a passport or, you know, a residence card or a green card or something that says that you can work here. And again, if you click on this, it's going to ask you for a file from your computer, and you can have a photocopy in there. We'll even make the photocopy at school for you. We'll put your driver's license in there if you want. Actually, it doesn't say driver's license here, but we've always submitted Arizona driver's licenses.
So would a driver's license be all you need?
That's all we've ever used, sir. I don't know why it doesn't say that here, but I've never had a problem with a driver's license. It's an Arizona driver's license.
Sounds good.
Yep, we'll photocopy the front and back of it, and we'll make it into a computer file, and you're good to go. And we can do that. We can do that any day you want, really, but we can do that on the graduation day beforehand and set up your computer file and everything. And so you'll click on this, it'll say, where's that file? You'll click on that, and it'll literally upload it. Then there's this English proficiency thing, which we all know drives me nuts. But it's going to ask if English is your native language. If your answer is yes, that's it. If you're like, yes, English is my native language, then you can skip this stuff down here. Do not attach a TOEFL or TOLIAC test result. You don't have to. If it's no, then they're going to want to know what your native language is, and you have to take an English test, and you can actually tell the English test people to submit the results to the board. They'll send them right to the board directly. You don't even have to upload them. But anyway, so you have to answer this question. And by the way, I get really tricky questions from students, just to let you know that I can't answer. I'm not even sure the board can answer. So one year I had a student come to me, and she said, I learned English and another language, both. I was bilingual from birth in my home country. Does that count as native language? And I was like, I don't know. And we called the board. This is before I was on the board. We called the board, and they were really nice. But they said, we can't answer that question. I'm like, you're the board. How can you not answer that question? And they said, we're not lawyers. We're actually not allowed to comment about how you should do that. You should talk to a lawyer and make your decision about what to do. So I can't tell you if you're bilingual, if you learn both at the same time, if that counts as native or not. Those are all, unfortunately, I wish I could advise you on this, but I'm not allowed to. So, so talk to somebody who can give you some legal advice about that. Then they're going to ask for your high school or equivalent. By the way, some of you who are out of the country, it might not have been called your high school, but something that was equivalent. Your date graduated. Do not freak out on this. A month and a year is just fine. A month and a year is just fine. The board is not going to ding you for something that's an honest answer, but it was off one day, right? So, like, if you just said May of 2002, whatever, you're fine. If you didn't get a high school diploma, you got a GED, that's fine too. What date did you get it? Yeah. And then let's go down to your massage therapy education. This is important. This is where did you go to school? Do not put, those of you at Estrella, do not put Estrella Community College. I know you're on that campus, but you went to Gateway Community College. all of you will put Gateway Community College. All of you will put 700 hours. And you can pick the street address from where you went to. That, whether it was the Washington campus or Estrella, that's fine. But you went to Gateway Community College. You attended from, I can tell you in just a second. You attended, I believe, from, what was it, May 2nd? Is that when you guys started? Bear with me 1 second. I'm trying to find out when you went to school.
Yes, that's when we started.
Thank you. So you attended, so you'd literally be like, I went from 2, 20, 22, to what are you going to be? 1, let's say 10. Some of you will be 12 though. It could be 12, 2022. Date of completion is going to be,
23.
what?
It's going to be 23.
Oh,
We
thank you.
graduate in the year 23.
Thank you, ma'am. Can't go back in time? Is that what you're trying to say?
Kind of.
Some of you also, by the way, it's not some of you, all of you. It's going to say date of completion. The date of completion is the date you ended on. Don't worry about that. It's going to still be the same thing. It'll be 1/10/23, as Ms. Cuppage pointed out. You're going to see these other things for massage school down here. You don't need these. Some people go to multiple massage schools when they're applying, usually for out-of-state licenses, and they're trying to make up some hours in the middle. They took a 500-hour school out of state, and they need 200 more hours, whatever. You're not going to fill out B and C. Yeah? Let me get rid of that, because it's not going to let me go on. You could literally just write, this is not applicable to me. Boom. Not applicable to me. Boom. Now, have you graduated from an accredited school outside of Arizona? No, you haven't. Have you graduated from a nationally accredited board-recognized school located in Arizona? Yes. This is super important. You have or you will graduate from a nationally accredited board-recognized school located in Arizona. We are nationally accredited, we are board-recognized, and we are in Arizona. And because of that, you can ignore this. You do not need to take the MBLEX. You do not need to take this NCBTMB test. You can literally ignore this. You don't want to take these tests right now. You might want to take them later. Ms. Zwick, yes.
So if we were applying for universal acceptance in another state, would both of those options be, or the first option be true for the outside of whatever state we're applying to? Like, is it accredited?
Oh yeah, are we accredited nationwide?
Yeah,
or are we
pretty
accredited with other
like-
boards?
Oh, let's just
Yeah.
ask both.
All right, so I don't know. It depends on the state. It's not
Okay.
just I don't know. Like there's no national licensing, so the problem is every single state you apply to has its own application, its own requirements. They may not have universal acceptance. Most of them have what's called reciprocity, and they'll be like, okay, you've got a license over in Arizona, and usually, by the way, but it's different with every state. They get to do whatever they want. But usually, because you guys got into a 700-hour program, most states require between 500 and 700 hours, so you're usually cool with that. And they usually say, take the MBLEX and pay us a couple $100 and give you a license. Usually you're good. And it does help you went to Gateway Community College and that we're part of the largest community college system in the U.S. So the school tends to be recognized, so that is super helpful. So in general, you will show them a transcript and take the MBLEX for most states. But there are some really tricky states. Florida says we don't care what school you went to if you didn't go to a Florida school. Because the Florida school is really smart at getting their schools to be the only ones accepted there so that you had to go to a Florida school. New York says you need 1,000 hours, and you need 1,000 hours of what we say you need. So they'll look at your 700 hours and be like, we don't even count all your 700 hours. And it's not because you went to Gateway. It's because we want you to have a certain amount of shiatsu and we want you to have a certain amount of this and that. So New York's kind of tricky. Or New Jersey, one of those two. Anyway, so, but most places, it's an MBLEX and your transcripts and you'll be fine. Yeah. But it'll be a completely different form, completely different licensing board, all that kind of stuff. It's really annoying. They are trying to look at universal licensing. It's got some trickiness to it. Anyway, so none of you here will take this exam because you went to a board recognized school in Arizona. Then down here, number 10 you can ignore altogether. Number 10 is for people that are claiming they had a license under another licensing board. And I presume none of you did. If you did, again, talk to me because we might want to have you apply through universal acceptance. But basically, for you guys, it doesn't matter. You didn't have a license at another licensing board, and they don't care. They're not looking for that because this is a brand new license. Here, they want a photo of you. This part's important because it's really easy to do. You don't have to go to a passport shop to get your photo. You guys can take photos of each other today on each other's phones. Push somebody up against the wall, in a nice way. Push somebody up against a white wall. I know it came out so bad. Put somebody up against a white wall, white, and shoot them from the décolleté up, right? We're looking for a square photo of them, right? And do not smile. Look at that photo. If you look like crap, you did it right. I mean it. It should look like a mugshot. Everybody looks horrible in them. If you are smiling and you look attractive, it's not going to work. Retake the photo. It is supposed to be you just like, right? And it's a square photo, and you can, and then that person, if you took it on their phone, can just upload it. But again, if I click on here, it'll take me to my computer and say, where's this file? And I can upload the photo. That photo will not appear on your license. It will not appear on the website. Do not worry. Everybody's like, oh my God, somebody's going to see this. Basically, no one's going to see it. They use it for things like, let's say Mr. Tapscott's being inappropriate, and I get in trouble, and I say, they say, what's your name? And I say, my name's Mr. Bigelow. Poor Mr. Bigelow gets a call and says, we hear you've been being inappropriate. And he says, I've been out of town. I don't even know what you're talking about. And they pull up his picture and they go, yeah, that's not the guy we talked to. It's not you. Right? So they use the picture to help identify you if they had to. But it sits
That
inside.
makes me think of the board meeting that we just had, remember?
Yeah, that's actually the first time
Yeah.
I've ever seen him do that, where they pulled it up to make sure they're really talking to the person. Yeah. But in general, they use it for mistaken identity stuff and things like that. I mean, I haven't seen my picture in 20 years. You know, you just upload it once, you never see it again. So, anyway, so don't worry about the quality. I mean, don't worry about the fact that you're going to look terrible in the picture. Remember, don't smile. Okay, professional conduct. Answer these truthfully. So they want to know if you've been convicted of a felony, a class 1, 2, or 3. Answer yes or no. 4, 5, or 6. Yes or no. Have you ever pled no contest? Which is not an admission of guilt, but it's no contest. You would know. And they say involving moral turpitude. Moral turpitude is a very confusing term, but it means something that involves morality. Usually things like prostitution, for one, but also things like fraud, where you've defrauded people, would be considered immoral, and so they want to know about that kind of stuff. Misdemeanors. Only misdemeanors they care about are prostitution type or solicitation type stuff. If you have a misdemeanor for throwing trash out your window, that's not what they're asking about here. They're asking for things surrounding prostitution, fraud, those two things. Here we got a question about fraud or misrepresentation or gross negligence. Answer this. These do not, by the way, instantly deny you a massage license at all. And very likely they're going to show up in your background check anyway. So don't freak out. Tell them the truth. They want to know if you're currently incarcerated. That will stop your massage license, by the way, as far as I know. And they also want to know, did you ever voluntarily surrender a license? So you've probably seen on some of the board meetings where we let somebody voluntarily surrender their license. They want to know that. Or are you under investigation too? So that means like, no, I haven't been convicted of anything, but I'm under investigation for something. So let them know. And then here you can attach court documents. You also want to, if you've said yes to any of these, you want to, and if you want to upload a written explanation of what happened. And so, I'm trying to think of stuff that I've had with students. I've had students, by the way, before marijuana was legalized, they'd have like a minor possession charge. And their documentation would be things like, I was convicted for minor possession of marijuana. That was 7 years ago. I have not had any further problems since then. I did my community service. I'm completely done with that. Here's the court documents. Boom, done. Some detailed explanation of what the charges are. What does it say? 7 or 8? Oh, yeah. Same thing here. This is just saying if you answered yes to 7 or 8. The point is, if you answer yes to any of these, you're going to have to upload some court documents and some explanation of what happened. And write it nice, like I completely understand, and that was then, this is now, won't happen again, Then, you can type in an authorization code here, or you can click to attach your receipt. You might have screenshotted your receipt. That's what I would do from when we paid. You'll click on this, attach that receipt right here. It'll say, where on your computer is the receipt? You'll be like, it's right here in my download file. Click, it'll upload. This is something that may apply to some of you. And it's something that you might want to consider. If you fall below 200% of the poverty line, you can waive to have your application fee, you can apply to have your application fee waived. But you have to attach current tax returns. So if you were really broke last year, and I've had students get this, you can attach your tax return here, and just pay a smaller fee. And you need to know that before you actually pay the initial fee, because you will actually pay a smaller fee. You'll pay the background check fee, and that's it, not the application fee. And to give you an idea, let me see something here. 200. To give you an idea, the 200% of poverty is determined by how many people are living in your household under your income, right? So if it's just you, and you made under $27,000 last year, you could apply for this and get a very reduced license. I had a student who, their household made $80,000, but they got it because they had like 6 kids. If you have a whole bunch of kids, you can make a whole lot more money. And let's try to look for the list here. Yeah, if there's 6 people living in your household, then all of a sudden that number goes way, way up. And I can't see it on my screen right now. So anyway, you can look that up online. Feel free to apply for that, as long as you're uploading current legitimate tax records. Yeah, current legitimate tax records. And if you're going to do that, if you've decided that you fall below the 200% poverty line level, then don't pay the fee that we talked about in the beginning. Pay just the $22 background check fee. And you would attach that here. It says $24.50 because of the service charge. And you'd attach that here too. You just click on it and upload that stuff. You upload your tax returns, signed tax returns. And it can be the copy you have, but they have to be signed. And the the receipt of your payment. Yes, Ms. Cuppage?
What part of the fingerprint clearance card are the tips that we've gotten for the school year this year, and how does that work?
So your fingerprint clearance cards. Well, how it works is here. Let me get off this screen here because I think we've got that done. By the way, you sign here. Really, I'll answer in 1 second. You sign here. You click to sign. It's not going to let me do it because I didn't fill out the whole form, but it's actually going to ask you to type your signature online, and that counts. And then it'll say, "Do you want to send this off?" And you'll say, "Yep." Send it off. Boom. And notice they put in the date here for you automatically. So you can't post date it. That's why they do that. All right. And it'll automatically send it off. Now you will still have to mail in or deliver your fingerprint clearance card. And the school will still have to mail in your transcripts. But we will take care of that. We actually use your tip money to pay for your transcripts and mail them into the board so that you don't have to come back to school and process that. We process you all as a group and mail them off and take care of all that. So basically you will pay for this application, fill out this online form, mail in your fingerprint clearance card, and we will mail in your transcripts. Now, Ms. Cuppage, your fingerprint clearance card, how is that paid for?
Yeah, in the beginning it was like, we got your fingerprint clearance cards because we got it's like a pay it forward thing from the past class.
Yes, yeah. And you guys earned enough to pay for them too, yeah. You pay it forward too. Anyway, so on January 9th, when you go to Grand Canyon University and you go to the cadaver lab, you guys will be done by 1 o'clock. We will give you vouchers on that day to get your fingerprint clearance cards done. And we assume that you will use the remaining 2 hours to go do that. I mean, you're going to have to do it sometime.
Is there a place that's by the cadaver lab, or do we just need to go search out fingerprint clearance?
I'll tell you the name of the place, and you can look for it. There's like 35 locations in the valley. So the quick answer is yes. I don't know of it off the top of my head, but the quick answer is there's a place by everybody. I think it's Arizona Life Scan. Hold on. Yeah, it's Arizona Live Scan. Hold on.
Arizona Live Scan fingerprinting.
Yeah, I'm going to put it into the chat here. And they've got locations everywhere, and you guys can all look them up and kind of see where you might want to go. There you go.
And the cadaver lab is at GCU?
Yep, Grand Canyon University. We're going to send out more information than that, but you actually go there and park in the Halo parking lot. I'm going to send this all to you in an email. Park in the Halo parking lot, meet, go check out the cadaver lab, check out the campus, have lunch, and then go get your fingerprints.
Would we wear our scrub tops?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go in school uniform.
Yeah.
Probably the last time you'll wear your scrub tops. Ever. Because on graduation you can wear your own street clothes. You can dress to impress on graduation day. Even if you have makeup time. Come and rock it out. Miss Kilpatrick found the last graduation online. It's kind of cool to watch. So our graduations are fast but fun. Because you're not at a graduation with 1,000 students. It's just you guys. So it's kind of cool. Okay. Questions, comments, or should we have study time?
Anytime.
Anytime.
Study time, okay. I'm going to answer these questions, but those who want to study can start studying. Just stay online, please. Miss Smith.
Will you be able to let us know how much time we need to make up before we head on break, so we know for that graduation day?
Yeah, probably. I could probably do that.
Okay.
Because you're right, I'm already starting to watch it. Yeah, to try to give you an idea when you'll be done that day.
Yeah, or if we'll need to come back on those next couple days.
Yeah, I will. You're right, Miss Smith, because I'll even send emails like, hey, you've got a lot, but if you stay till 6 p.m. on graduation day, like, we want to encourage you to finish early, because the sooner I can finish out the class, the better. So, yes, I will do that, Miss Smith. Absolutely. That's a really good point. Mr. McClure.
Do you happen to know if this program counts as towards a 4-year education?
So,
Um,
funny you
There's
ask.
a question on taxes for tax credit for, since we all paid, you get money back for going to college. And you get more money back if the program counts towards the first 4 years of education.
Got it. All right, so the answer right now is no. It does not. However, I don't know if this helps you at all. We've been working at getting this program approved to provide college credit. And we just got tentative approval. But the problem is that hasn't been processed yet. And it's a long process at a college to get something like this, to give you college credits. So I don't know if that helps you, but it is retroactive is my understanding. So not for your payment part, I have no idea how that works. But my point is, if we get this approved, let's say a year from now, or 6 months from now, or 3 days from now, it won't be 3 days. It will be, well, could be early next year. It will automatically give you college credits. Like, it would then count towards a 4-year degree. But the problem is it doesn't do you any good right now, because right now, no, it does not. But my point is, once it is approved, it will be retroactive. You guys will actually get college credits for having attended this class.
But you still can get tax credit, I believe, because you're doing continuing education. You paid to a university for tuition.
Right. But you get
It's
more.
like
$1,000 more if it's towards a 4-year degree.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. So anyway, but the short answer is no, sir. Right now, it does not count towards a 4-year degree. It is in process, but I don't think, it doesn't sound like that's going to help you, depending on when you're filing.
No, it's okay.
But I would check back in with me before you do your taxes, because you're not going to do your taxes till March, right? Something like that. Check back in with me, because it really might be approved by then, and it would have been retroactive.
Okay,
And
I'll
you can be
take
like
it
that.
on.
Yeah. Cool. Even better.